Dad checked out when I was baby and neglected me for 32 and is, but I give him the last chance and send this. My father's last words to me were a slurred promise. Through a haze of whiskey, I'll be back. Kid. I was 3, clutching a teddy bear he'd won at a carnival, watching his truck vanish down a dusty road. 32 years later, I'm still waiting. The absence of James Carter wasn't just a void. It was a wound that festered through every milestone of my life. Birthdays passed with no card, no call. My graduation cap sat crooked on my head, and I scanned the crowd for a face I barely remembered, only to find Mom's tired smile instead. I grew up in a small Ohio town, where whispers about that deadbeat Carter followed me like a shadow. Mom worked double shifts at the diner, her hands raw from scrubbing plates, while I learned to fix my own bike and bandage my own scraped knees. I didn't need a dad, I told myself, but the lie stung every time I saw a father toss his kid into the air at the park, laughter echoing where my silence lived. At 35, I'd built a life I was proud of, a modest house, a teaching job at the local high school, and a fiancée, Sarah, who saw the cracks in my armor but loved me anyway. I thought I'd buried the pain of Dad's abandonment, but it clawed its way back when I found an old photo in Mom's attic. It was me, a chubby toddler, grinning on his shoulders at that same carnival. His smile was wide, unguarded, like he meant to stay. I sat there staring at the photo, my chest tight with a question I'd never dared ask. Why wasn't I enough? Then, last month, a letter arrived. No return address, just my name in shaky handwriting. It was him, James Carter, now 60, living in a trailer park 2 states away, claiming he was sober and sorry. I know I don't deserve it, he wrote, but I'd give anything to see you. My first instinct was to burn it. 32 years of nothing, and now he wanted forgiveness. Sarah found me gripping the letter, knuckles white, and said softly, "What if this is your chance to heal?" I laughed, bitter and sharp, but her words stuck. What if? I didn't call. I didn't write back. Instead, I drove 8 hours to his address, a crumpled photo in my pocket and a letter of my own, one I'd written in my head 1,000 times but never put to paper. The trailer park was a maze of rusted dreams, and his trailer was the worst of them, peeling paint, a sagging porch, a life barely held together. He opened the door, and I froze. The man from the photo was gone. This James Carter was frail, his face carved with regret, eyes red-rimmed but clear. "Elliot," he whispered, like he couldn't believe I was real. I didn't hug him. I didn't even shake his hand. I just stood there, the weight of 3 decades pressing down. Why, I finally said, my voice cracking. "Why did you leave?" His answer wasn't clean or satisfying. He spoke of addiction, of shame, of a young man too broken to be a father. "I thought you were better off without me," he said, tears spilling over. I wanted to scream that he was wrong, that every kid needs their dad, but the words caught in my throat. Instead, I handed him my letter. It wasn't kind, it was raw, messy, full of the pain I'd carried since that carnival day. I wrote about the nights I cried myself to sleep, the times I blamed myself for his absence, the anger that nearly consumed me. But I also wrote about Mom's strength, my students' laughter, Sarah's love proof I'd built something despite him. And at the end, I offered him a chance. Not forgiveness, not yet, but a coffee shop meeting in 2 weeks. Show up, I wrote, or don't. But this is it. He read it in silence, his hands trembling. When he looked up, his eyes held something I hadn't expected: gratitude. "I'll be there," he said, voice barely above a whisper. I didn't trust it, but I nodded and left, the photo still in my pocket, lighter somehow. The drive home was a blur. Sarah was waiting, her arms open, and I let myself collapse into them. "Did you find what you needed?" she asked. I didn't know. Maybe I'd given him the chance I wished he'd given me. Maybe I just needed to see him, to know he wasn't a ghost. The coffee shop meeting was a week away, and I wasn't sure if I wanted him to show up or disappear forever. But something shifted in me that day. The wound wasn't gone, but it didn't burn as fiercely. I'd spent 32 years carrying his absence, letting it define me in ways I hadn't admitted. Writing that letter, standing on that porch, I took something back. Not my childhood, not the years he stole, but the power to choose what came next. I don't know if Dad will show up. I don't know if I'll ever call him Dad to his face, but I know I'm not that 3-year-old kid anymore, waiting for a truck that never comes back. I'm Elliot Carter, and I'm enough. What do you think? Was Elliot right to give his father one last chance? Or should he have left the past buried? Share your thoughts. There's no right or wrong, just perspectives. And